I was feeling pretty bored, so I binged all of Vinland Saga on Sunday. I had a lot of thoughts on the show, so I felt compelled to make this review. I'll just get straight into it. To start with, I'll give a very short summary of the series. I'll leave a lot of details out, but this review will still contain spoilers, so consider yourselves warned. Vinland Saga is set around the year 1000, and the central story takes place around the Danish invasion of England as seen through the eyes of the Vikings. The anime centers on a young man named Thorfinn, the son of a mighty warrior named Thor. As with most animes, the father is killed off summarily, and so sets the grounds for a tale of revenge for young Thorfinn. Thorfinn follows around a Danish pirate leader named Askeladd, who Thorfinn holds responsible for the death of his father. Thorfinn becomes obsessed with killing Askeladd, but will only do so in honorable combat via a duel in order to honor the memory of his late father. Askeladd takes advantage of this and uses Thorfinn by telling him to prove himself in battle and earn the right to duel him. Enter a training montage. Thorfinn trains, becomes a vicious killer while wielding dual daggers, and proceeds to challenge and lose to Askeladd over many duels while accomplishing many feats in battle. From here, the story's focus shifts from Thorfinn's quest for revenge to a political drama. It turns out Askeladd is actually half Danish and half Welsh, and a descendant of Artorius, upon whom the legend of King Arthur is based on. His mother was a slave to a Viking lord and was mistreated very poorly. Turns out Askeladd was also on a quest for revenge, in addition to having a deep conviction to protect his homeland of Wales from the fires of war. To this end, Askeladd plans to use the seemingly timid son of the Danish king, Prince Canute, in order to ingratiate himself with the Danish king, and in doing so have the opportunity to protect Wales. To keep things short, things happen. Prince Canute turns into a reliable leader, and they make plans to overthrow the king of Denmark. They form a merry band and things seem to be going their way, but Askeladd's luck runs out and he's forced to kill the king and sacrifice himself in order to protect both Prince Canute and Wales. Thorfinn is both enraged and has a deep sense of loss at having his revenge stolen from him, and so season 1 ends here. Don't worry though, season 2 will be coming out around 2023, or you can just read the manga if you're curious. Next, we'll be moving on to the tones and themes of Vinland Saga. This anime presents itself as a pseudo-historical documentary. Obviously, things are a bit exaggerated, such as Thorkel being able to throw an entire log at boats, but overall it tries to create a feeling of watching documented history. Things feel a bit more grounded in reality via a narrator providing dates, locations, and backstory, as well as being loosely tied to actual historical events, persons, and locations. The anime takes itself pretty seriously. It does have humorous characters such as the battle-hungry Thorkel. There are so many guys named after Thor, he must be a popular guy, but the overall tone is very serious. Also, it has a lot of graphic violence for those who are a fan of that. Along with the serious tones are some serious themes as well. The anime tackles the brutality and ugliness of war, and the purpose of existing in a cruel world seemingly devoid of hope. As for the animation quality, it's pretty darn solid. The action sequences are very fluid, and the art style is pretty consistent. There are a few weird outliers like that one count guy who looks like a frogman straight out of a Studio Ghibli movie. There are some transitional scenes as well that rely on 3D graphics that do seem a little bit hokey, but overall the art looks well done. As for my take, I did enjoy the series and would rate it a very solid anime. It's well done, but it didn't really stand out to me as being top tier on my own personal list. This is just my opinion, guys, so please don't set your torches on fire just yet. You guys can end the video here if you want, but I'm going to continue with some of my personal thoughts if you guys are interested. I did have a few personal nitpicks in the narrative logic of the series. To start with, the whole crux of Thorfinn's revenge saga starting was him being not found after Thor was killed. I don't really understand how this is possible as they were on two relatively not so hard to search boats in the middle of the freaking ocean. Where is Thorfinn going to hide, and why would Leif leave without him? I mean, look at him. He's just literally sitting in the boat. How do you not see that? It's kind of funny to think this could have all been avoided if Leif just spent 5 minutes to look for Thorfinn and took him home. Also, some things don't really add up if you take a second to think about it. For starters, why would Floki spend 15 years looking for Thor, and how would he know where to look? It would make sense if they needed Thor's strength in the war, but it looks like they did just fine without him. Also, Floki just straight up had Thor assassinated. Why? Thor is just living a life as a nobody and had no interest in the outside world. Maybe season 2 will clear that up, as season 1 implied something of note did happen in Thor's past. These plot points feel a bit half-baked, to be honest. Normally I would overlook things like this, but since the anime is taking itself so seriously, it becomes harder to suspend disbelief. This is why I personally do not enjoy movies or TV shows that are too serious, because the writing is usually flawed in one way or another. It becomes ham-fisted in trying to prove a point, and the plot ends up feeling a bit too contrived. It's okay to be serious, but also have a sense of self-awareness. I'm not saying to inject humor everywhere, but having a little bit of levity is not a bad thing at all. Also, I did enjoy the writing behind Prince Canute's transformation, but the pacing felt too rushed. It didn't feel natural for a shy, peace-loving guy to suddenly change into a confident leader that quickly. It made sense at a meta level, and I appreciate the writing behind it, but realistically speaking, a person would take longer to undergo that change. It didn't feel as hokey as The Tale of Dark Plagueis the Wise, but it definitely could have been paced a bit better. A transformation scene that felt more powerful for me was Griffith's scene in Berserk. In Berserk, it felt like everything was culminating up to that point, and you knew something was going to happen, but not what exactly. I still remember that scene to this day because it felt so impactful. Also, while I understand where Prince Canute is coming from, his reasoning for creating paradise himself is pretty flawed for one simple reason. Humans suck. There will always be that one guy ruining things for everyone else. You just can't avoid it. That said, I did enjoy the anime providing a bit more mental stimulus, even though it did feel a bit ham-fisted and contrived at times. Even with my complaints, I overall enjoyed Vinland Saga. There is a lot well done. I just didn't go over all of it because there is a lot of the anime that's well done. Well, that's it for the review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll make another one randomly whenever I decide to binge something. Anyways, if you guys have any anime suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. I'll check them out one of these days. Catch you guys next time.